As much as we want other people to help us, they cannot help us. It is for us to make this informed decision. I am doing this because I'm desperate. I'm doing this because I don't have a job. I'm doing this because my family is not good. All I can do is listen to your story. All I can do is assist you to see how we can work it out. I welcome our viewers and listeners to the platform for Boy Child by Grandma Rose. Every medication has a dose. Who gives doses for alcohol and drugs? If you have not watched the first video, please go back and watch so that you can be with us. Our discussion starts with, what are the behaviors of an addicted person? We have seen people who have been affected by drugs and by alcohol. Let's say you have a boy child, a son, and then you hear from the school teachers that he has been skipping school, he has not been keeping up with his homework, he has been having some behaviors that cannot be understood, he is not attentive in class, which means his attention span has kind of gone down. And then you start wondering, what's happening to my son? And you might also start seeing signs, like in the house. Probably he has started being secretive. Probably he has been having friends that are not of such good character. If someone is in the university or in college and they are away from home, sometimes they are given money for upkeep and they may end up using that money for drugs and alcohol. Sometimes they may be given money for rent, and at one time you hear they are homeless or they are staying with somebody else, their friend, because probably they have not paid that month's rent. Those who are given like money to pay school fees may not even pay the school fees. Sometimes you may pay the school fees yourself, and you may even rent an apartment or a house or a room for your son, and then you realize they don't even go to school. The same thing happens to employees. One is an employee, let's say, of a big company, or one is an employee, maybe just casual, but they are coming late for work, and then they may be absent from work without any reason. They were not sick, they have not traveled, they have not asked for permission to be out of work, and yes, they have not been coming to work. When they do any kind of work that they do, it may be work that is not well done, shoddy work. When you look at the performance, you see that the performance is declining. When they come to work, you may also see that they are not organized properly and they are not alert enough. And they may be waiting very eagerly for time to get off work. Therefore, their performance, if it is in school, if it is at home, if it is at work, we can actually just call it poor performance. In the same manner, we find that there may be also a social dysfunction. Some things that we have in the community, there may be weddings in our communities, in our neighborhoods. We may be having like family gatherings where clans meet and families meet. And this person who had been previously very present and very active is missing. Or he comes when he is disorganized. Or he comes when he is drunk. And when he comes, people cannot go on and continue with the meeting properly because he is disrupting. This same person will realize he is addicted because he has loss of energy and motivation. He does not want to start something new. He cannot put his mind into something, set his mind to start and finish a project. Whatever motivated him for something new, whatever motivated him to go to work, that motivation is not there. At the same time, without the motivation also, the level of the energy has gone down. These people may also start neglecting themselves, their appearance. They don't look clean, probably even showering or combing their hair. Now their appearance has been neglected. They also misuse the money that they get. He gets a monthly pay. That monthly pay may be used within a day. And this money may not even go into the things that are a priority. because we know that in every budget and in every family there is a priority. What are the things that I need to do with my salary this month? Some of us have seen people that have been sent out by landlords because they have not paid rent up to 4, 5, 6 months. They are being paid, but the money is not going into the things that it needs to go. This person also is obsessed about the next dose of alcohol, the next dose of drugs. He is worrying, is there going to be a consistent supply of the substance that I need? Which means their mind is not at ease. They are not concentrating with the present. If I'm doing homework here, I'm not concentrating on the homework. I'm thinking, I'm just about done with my last dose of drugs. Where am I going to get the next one? They may not have money for the next dose. We have had instances where you have kept money somewhere, and of course you know that money was there. And when you go back to check, it's not there. And probably one of you has been around, he didn't have any money for those substances, and all of a sudden he has gone out. And when he comes back drunk or high on something. The habit of stealing may start. Something else that we have seen is that they have started selling things. Selling things like sufurias. Imagine a sufuria. Your mom uses a sufuria for cooking. Sufurias are missing because they have been sold. Chickens are missing because they have been sold. Anything that seems like it can raise money, it is sold, which is very, very sad. An addicted person may start having withdrawal symptoms. If they do not have that drug in the system, they'll start shaking. They have tremors. They may also have nausea. They may have vomiting. They may become aggressive in behavior. And you can even see some confusion. This is why you hear, like where I live, that people are going to unlock. Is it unlock? I think it is unlock. When they go to unlock in the morning, they'll take something that will make them function, because their bodies are not functional or their minds are not functional before they take the first one to open the lock. They also develop tolerance. They want to take more to achieve. We are going to call it euphoria, feeling high. So you are taking this little amount. Your body is already now used to this amount. Therefore, you need to add a little more of the substance so that you can reach the same high or the same euphoria. And then as time goes by, you continue increasing the substance that you take to reach the peak, to reach the euphoria. They will start lying about their consumption habits. I, as a mother, or I, as Shosho Rose, I'm getting concerned. You are not in school. You are not at work. I see that your appearance is not good. You're not cleaning yourself. You're not helping at home. What's happening? And they'll say, oh, I have been busy. Oh, I had gone to see my friend. Oh, it's only that this time I am kind of stressed. I'll put myself together. Don't you worry, I'll put myself together. So when you want to know, are you getting addicted? Are you drinking too much? They'll always be defensive. If you insist, you see them getting angry, you see them getting aggressive because they do not want to be questioned about consumption. They may perform risky behaviors. Risky behaviors, for example, driving while you are under the influence of alcohol. And that's very, very dangerous. Because imagine someone who is drunk, when he is walking, he thinks that the ground is level. If they can do that when they are walking, what about when they are driving? So we have seen many accidents happening because someone was drunk and he just got out of the club, or they are high on something, they are driving, and then they put their lives in danger, and they put the lives of those on the road in danger and the passengers that they are carrying. What are the signs that show that someone is addicted? When you are unable to limit the amount of alcohol you drink. If it is drugs, if it is there, I'm going to use it. Imagine this topic was, who gives the dose for alcohol and drugs. And here we see someone who does not mind about the dose. It is what is available. They have no limit. If someone says, I'm going to drink 1 bottle, when you came, after finishing that bottle, you feel an urge for a second one. And after taking the second, you feel an urge for a third one. And if someone comes and says, hey, drink this with me, and then you go on to the next one, you have no control. You are spending so much time there in the den, or with your friends, or wherever you get the substance. There are people who will constantly make a journey every day. They also take too much time recovering from it. For example, if they took it last night and they went home, let's say 10 or 11, in the morning by 7, they cannot do any amount of work that means anything because they feel like their bodies are not together, their minds are not together, they are not up to performing any kind of task at that time. So when that substance or what that element is missing from your system, there is a craving, and this urge becomes very strong in you and you cannot resist it. Your relationship with your family is now not good. You cannot discuss anything with your spouse. Wherever you go physically, you are like a misfit because people do not want to relate with you when you are in that state. So what is the solution of all this? We already now know that the boy child is addicted. And this person needs to go back to healthy life. That is why the government is fighting so much for the boy child. That's why we are having programs on the ground, so that the boy child can go to the dignity and the integrity where he was. We are working on it, but you have to work yourself out of the problem. Let me go back to the Bible and say, in Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 33, it says, I will put my law within them, and I'll write it on their hearts, and I'll be their God, and they'll be my people. Putting the law within us, in us, putting the law of God in us, writing it down in our hearts. That is the law of God, so that we can become God's people, and so we can go back to what He intended us to be, so we can accomplish what He wanted us to accomplish. Unless that law of God is written in your heart. I got a pen here, and when I write, I got some marks here. You are going to have something like that in your heart that God has written, so that even when you go to where alcohol is, the law in your heart will say, no, I am not part of that. My God says no. Let me tell you how the law of God gets into our hearts. We have to allow God to work with us. We have to agree that we cannot do it on our own. As much as we want other people to help us, they cannot help us. It is for us to make this informed decision. It is for us to make the proper judgment. The government is not going to make that decision for you. Your loved ones are not going to make that decision for you. You have to make that decision yourself. It says in John chapter 14, when Jesus said, I am not going to leave you like orphans. I'll leave you the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit that is not known by the people of this world. So when we accept God to write that law, the Holy Spirit will be in us. And then the Holy Spirit will be our advocate. In another word, it says He will be our helper. You'll not be alone, He will help you alone. And then it says it will be the Spirit of the truth. So you'll be able to follow the truth. He is also called our comforter, because when you feel low, instead of going to take substances that you think are going to make you feel good and go high, the Holy Spirit will come and comfort you and be your friend, live in you forever. I have done counseling, and I have gone through counseling classes, and it talks about the willing counselor and the willing counselee. Counselor is me Grandma Rose, counseling is you, boy child. Let me tell you, when you come to me, I do not know your story. You give me your story, how you want me to help you. All I can do is listen to your story. All I can do is assist you to see how we can work it out. We look at different ways of tackling this problem. I tell you, we can do it this way. This is how you can come into your family, and this is how you can solve the problem. And you might tell me, no, Grandma Rose, we can't work it like that because that's not how my family works. So in actual fact, the one who knows how to work out the problem is you. I'll give you some pointers, but you got to do the hard work. You got to do it yourself because nobody else is going to do it. I said in my Kikuyu program that even if you are given money in a bag, that money is not going to solve that problem for you. Because some would say, I am doing this because I'm desperate. I'm doing this because I don't have a job. I'm doing this because my family is not good. You are the one who is going to solve the problem. The life is yours. The present, the future is yours and in the hands of God. Let me encourage you, boy child, that you are going to do good. That one day I'm going to meet you and you are going to say, Grandma Rose, you talked and I listened. And I'm telling you, I'm going to be so happy. I rejoice when I hear people who have reformed, not through their power, but through the power of God. Triggers. Remember the triggers. People have gone to rehab and families have paid so much money. But when they come back, they go back to the same. Why? Because they had not made up their mind. And because they go back to the same triggers. You go back to the same friends. You go back to the same den. You go back to being idle. If I was spending time in alcohol and drugs, I gotta find something that is an alternative to take up the time. Something that I delight in, something that is productive, something that I can be proud of. Boy child, you can do it. Our boy child is going back to where he was. Very respected. A lot of dignity. Being the head everywhere. Head of the household. Whatever you are taking that does not have a doctor's dose is harmful to your body. I wish you the best because I have given you steps to follow. Follow those steps. Let's continue to subscribe, to follow, and to like Platform for Boy Child by Grandma Rose.